Winter has arrived in the north. And by all accounts thus far, we're going to get more snow than the last 2 seasons combined. I'm out here with my dog for one of the biggest storms of the winter, enjoying some peace and quiet in our tiny snowmobile cabin. So join us for a wild adventure in the peaceful northern wilderness. This is Tiny Cabin Life. We're in Sand Dunes State Forest in central Minnesota, trying to find a place to set up camp for the night. This forest is very unique to this part of the state, as you have a vast pine forest, which you typically don't see in this area. And that's because the pines were actually planted in the mid-1900s to salvage a piece of land that was considered undesirable for farming. Today, we're headed into the backcountry to find a spot to hunker down and take in probably the largest snowstorm of the winter thus far. As you can see, we're pulling our bicycle cabin behind us, which converts to a snowmobile cabin during the winter time. And we've been cruising along just fine until suddenly the cabin came detached.
Oh no, we lost the cabin. Never had that happen before.
It turned out that the strap that I've been using to tow this thing for the past 3 years finally gave out, and so I had to improvise with something else I had on hand.
All right, so I think I have a rough fix that will at least get us to camp. This wire right here should hold out. I need to do something better for the future, but I think for right now, this should hold. All right, let's find ourselves a campsite.
Continued for another couple of miles down the trail until I found a nice spot to split off and set up camp.
I think this is where I'm gonna set up our cabin. It seems to be fairly level. We've also got some good protection from the trees, not just up above, but over on this side and this side over here as well.
As I began to set up the cabin, the snowstorm began as well.
Well, as you can see, the snow just continues to pick up. Ellie's ready to get in the cabin. I'm ready to get in there. I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, but we still have a little bit more to set up, mainly the wood stove. So I'm gonna get that going right now so we can get inside and warm up.
As the fire started to take off, I noticed some smoke was leaking out of the stovepipe inside the cabin.
Oh no. Oh no. We've got a big problem. My elbow here for the stove has worn out. It was smoking up there, and I was wondering why it wasn't fitting. Well, that's why. Oh my gosh, that's a big problem. There's a chance that I have another elbow in my little fire bag here. Not because I saw this coming. I think I just have one in there for some reason, so I'm gonna check real quick. Oh my gosh, I do. That's gonna save our whole trip here. Well, I'm having a pretty late lunch here. It's about 2 o'clock, which means, man, the sun's gonna be setting in 2.5 hours. I know that propane tank looks like it's really close to the firebox, but believe it or not, it actually doesn't get warm at all. It stays very, very cool down there. So there's no risk of it exploding or anything like that. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity to be out camping in the snow. Bless this food. Amen. It's very delicious. Love having the wild rice in there. It's very Minnesotan.
The snow continued to fall as sundown drew nearer and nearer. And I realized that if we were going to get outside at all today, we better do it now.
Well, I figured we might as well get out right now for a little while at least before we're totally cooped up in the cabin for the rest of the night. And man, oh man, is the snow coming down. So cool and so beautiful too. As of now, the snow is definitely up past my shin. It's coming close to the knee. It's supposed to snow basically all night, so we'll see in the morning, you know, if it gets up that high. We're definitely supposed to get a few inches, so you never know. Oh, wow. Yeah, it is much calmer in here. The pine forest here creates such a nice shelter because those pines are almost completely blocking that snow. I mean, we're getting a little bit of mist, but it's a whole nother ball game outside there. It would have been nice to have the cabin completely engulfed in the forest like this, but you know, we got a nice spot too.
Before heading back inside, I want to cut down some of my firewood to make it fit better inside the little stove and provide a nice hot fire.
You see, I've got a lot of wood this size and a little bit smaller, but it's got to be cut down a lot because, you know, the stove itself is really tiny, but also the best hot fires in that thing are when you've got a bunch of small pieces burning. And so I want to make sure we're set up for success tonight, to be comfortable in there. And yeah, so let's get to it.
So as many of you know, I lost my dad to cancer a few months back. He was battling it for 7 years, which was truly remarkable because he had stage 4 non-smoker's lung cancer. And I think one of my big takeaways from that whole experience is that regular doctor visits are extremely important. I also know how difficult it can be to find the right doctor for you. You know, somebody who makes you feel heard, has a good bedside manner, and genuinely cares about your well-being. And so with that, I want to introduce you to ZocDoc, the sponsor of today's video. They make finding the right doctor and booking an appointment easier than ever. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find somebody that you absolutely love. We're talking 150,000 providers across all 50 states. And they can help you specialize as well. So if you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, eye care, or one of any other 200 plus specialties offered, they can help you find the right care for you. And they help cater to your preferences as well. So if you want an in-person visit or telehealth, they can help you with that too. Something that I think is really cool too is that you can view thousands of verified patient reviews to get a true sense of what your provider is going to be like. And so when you're ready for an appointment, you can see their real-time availability and book right there. And so if you're looking for a turnkey way to find the right doctor and book an appointment, I definitely recommend checking out ZocDoc. You can use my personal link, which is ZocDoc.com/TCL, or just click the hyperlink in the description below. And with that, let's get back to the adventure. Supposed to keep snowing for another 3 hours or so and then pause and then pick up a little bit again overnight. Who knows how much snow we're going to actually get. But the beauty of this cabin is that we tow it with the snowmobile, so there's no doubt that we'll get out of here tomorrow, and that's a good feeling.
Well, I think it's about time to make some dinner. I don't really enjoy cooking in here because of how small the space is, but when it's snowing out like that, it's really all I can do. So we're just gonna have to roll with it.
I'm gonna be doing sort of a breakfast for dinner sort of thing, doing some sausage, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. Oh, it's gonna be really good. Well, as you can see, it's just your standard sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich, but man, it looks really good. Well, it's been a pretty relaxing evening in here. Just been staring at the fire for a while. But I think Ellie's got the right idea. I'm really starting to get tired. I love this cabin because of how versatile it is, and the fact that we can tow it way out into the woods like this is pretty cool. But it's also a lot of work. Setting it up, crawling in and out, making food in here. Anyway, I think with that, I'm gonna shut off the lights here and crawl into bed. We'll see you guys first thing in the morning. Good night. Good morning. As you can see from the blue light on my face, it is very snowy and cold outside, but it's nice and toasty warm in here with that fire. I slept really well for the most part last night. The only thing is that this space really is not big enough for Ellie and me. So we were constantly kind of shuffling around trying to stretch our legs and all of that. And so, yeah, we woke up a few times, but other than that, while we were asleep, at least for me, I slept really, really well.
After taking some time to wake up in the cabin for a while, I decided that I better head out on at least one snowmobile ride for fun before we have to pack up and head out of here.
Well, as you can see, we definitely got some solid snow. The skis are completely buried. There's a ton just covering the rest of the sled. And unfortunately, my helmet is absolutely buried in snow, which is a bummer because I'm definitely going to be using that for my lap around the forest here. All right, well, it's time to head out on a little cruise. I'm leaving Ellie back at the cabin. She'll be better off warm inside there instead of, you know, riding around in the back here. But we're not going to be gone too long. We're just going to do a little lap around and then we'll come back and pack out. That is so much fun. You know, I use this thing primarily for transportation, you know, towing that cabin or getting to other places in the backcountry that I don't often just go out on joy cruises. But man, I need to do that more often. That was great.
Well, this was a really great trip. It felt so good to be back out on the sled and in the backcountry, taking in a substantial snowstorm. This cabin is incredibly special to me, and I think it's because we can go deeper into the woods than any of our other campers. And there's just something incredibly peaceful about being so isolated while at the same time having everything that you need. We've got shelter, a warm fire, plenty of food, and good company. And honestly, I don't think there's much more that I need to be happy in this life.
As always, I want to give a special shout out to our patrons who generously donate to this channel. Thank you so much. But again, to everybody who watches, comments, subscribes, you're all the reason that we get to do this on a weekly basis, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. Now, winter is just getting started, so we're going to have plenty more adventures just like this one. So stay tuned for those. But for now, I'm going to get home and see the girls. We'll see you next week. God bless.